Hey guys, let's get more news about Steelers, but first, don't forget to subscribe and leave your like. The Pittsburgh Steelers have inked a 2-year contract with special teams standout Killebrew, while also securing wide receiver Van Jefferson on a 1-year deal. The Pittsburgh Steelers made significant moves in bolstering their roster on Monday, signing special teams standout Miles Killebrew to a 2-year contract and reaching an agreement with wide receiver Van Jefferson on a 1-year deal. Killebrew, recognized as a safety, earned his first All-Pro honors as a special teams selection in 2023. Notably, he amassed 13 tackles and kick coverage and executed a crucial blocked punt that resulted in a momentum-shifting safety during a victory over Baltimore on October 8. Additionally, the 30-year-old Killebrew saw significant defensive action, playing 111 snaps, marking his highest total since joining the Steelers in 2021 following a 5-season stint in Detroit. Meanwhile, Jefferson joins the Steelers after spending time with both Atlanta and the Los Angeles Rams last season. The 27-year-old wide receiver boasts 113 career receptions for 1,600 yards and 10 touchdowns across 61 career games, with the majority of his production coming during his tenure with the Rams. The signings come at a crucial time for the Steelers, who are facing a shortage of depth at wide receiver. Following the trade of Diontae Johnson to Carolina last week and the departure of Miles Boykin in free agency, the team found itself with George Pickens and Calvin Austin as the only receivers on the roster who caught passes with the team during the 2023 season. Steelers insider hints at massive move coming. The Pittsburgh Steelers currently have $15 million in salary cap space, and the way they have operated this offseason makes you believe they'd be willing to spend it to continue improving their team. The first thought is free agent wide receiver Mike Williams, who is set to visit Pittsburgh this week, according to reports. Maybe it's someone bigger, though. Pittsburgh Post-Gazette's Gerry Dulac said during an appearance on The Rich Eisen show that he expects the Steelers to make more moves as Week 2 of free agency continues. This would add to an already blockbuster offseason highlighted by Russell Wilson, Justin Fields, and Patrick Queen. Art Rooney came out, the team president, after the season and basically said his patience is running thin and quote, "It's time to win some playoff games," Dulac said. They are not standing pat, and that was a directive pretty much to Omar Khan and Mike Tomlin, don't be satisfied with 10-7. We need to do something. And they are doing something, and I don't think they're done. When Eisen suggested that the next move is Williams, Dulac dropped a hint that it may be an even bigger move than that. Yeah, or bigger is all I will tell you, Rich, Dulac said. It might not even be Mike Williams. It might be a bigger catch. If Dulac is referring to the free agent class, it may be harder to find someone who's bigger in name than Williams. Maybe they have their eyes on Michael Gallup or Odell Beckham Jr., or maybe Dulac is referring to a trade. The team has already dealt Diontae Johnson and Kenny Pickett and wasted no time trading for Fields. If the next deal is for a wide receiver, the biggest name they could reach for may be San Francisco 49ers star Brandon Aiyuk, who's available for trade at the right price. According to Jacksonville Jaguars reporter Mia O'Brien, the 49ers wanted the Jaguars' first-round pick, number 17, and wide receiver Zay Jones in exchange for Aiyuk. The Steelers currently hold the 20th pick in the draft, and their only young wide receivers are George Pickens and Calvin Austin. Still, you can't rule out anything with general manager Omar Khan running the show. To this point, he's pulled off the impossible more than once, and it's hard to say he won't do it again. If he does, it might be for a 26-year-old All-Pro coming from San Francisco. Or someone else who's a bigger catch than Williams. Eagles' Kenny Pickett sounds off on Steelers' exit. The Philadelphia Eagles' newest quarterback, Kenny Pickett, isn't holding back in his thoughts on being traded from the Pittsburgh Steelers. While speaking to the media for the first time since his trade, Pickett opened up on the Steelers' trade just 2 years after selecting him with a first-round draft choice. "I just thought it was time," Pickett said when asked if he was seeking a new start. It just felt like it was time, from things that transpired. I wanted to get a chance to go somewhere else and continue to grow my career. There had been a report shortly after the trade that Pickett was dealt because he was unhappy with the signing of Russell Wilson. It was expected that both quarterbacks would compete for the starting job. Via Jerry Dulac of the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette, despite being 14-10 as a starter and getting to work with new offensive coordinator Arthur Smith, Pickett was traded because of his behavior and expressed unhappiness over the arrival of Wilson, a 9-time Pro Bowl quarterback who won a Super Bowl with the Seattle Seahawks, sources told the Post-Gazette, writes Dulac. Due to Pickett's reaction to the signing, Pittsburgh ended up dealing the 25-year-old quarterback and a third-round pick in exchange for a fourth-round pick and a pair of 2025 seventh-round picks. Hours after dealing Pickett, the Steelers made a move for former Chicago Bears starting quarterback Justin Fields. Pickett, who threw just 13 touchdowns against 13 interceptions during his 2 years as Steelers starter, says he handled his exit from the Steelers in the right way. The communication is what it is, it was behind closed doors, Pickett said. I'm confident in the way that I handled it. I handled it the way I should have handled it. I'm excited to be here. I'm right where I'm supposed to be. The Steelers' trade of Pickett is the fastest they've moved on from a number 1 draft pick since they released tackle Jamin Stevens after 2 seasons with the team. Pickett, who grew up in New Jersey and is a Steelers fan, stressed that he wants to go back to having fun. This thing is a good reset, Pickett said. I want to get back to having fun. It's a great environment here, with these coaches and these players, so that's what I want to get back to. One former player and ESPN analyst doesn't support how Pickett exited from Pittsburgh. The 2-time Super Bowl champion and former 12-year veteran sounded off on Pickett's departure from Pittsburgh, arguing that he wanted out because he didn't want to compete with Wilson for the starting job. Bro, you didn't want to compete with Russell Wilson? Russell Wilson, who went from the Seahawks to the Broncos and now to the Pittsburgh Steelers in a matter of few years. And you running away from competition, that tells me more about you than anything, said Woody while appearing on ESPN's Get Up on Monday, March 18. Instead of competing for a starting job this training camp, Pickett will instead step in as the backup quarterback to Jalen Hurts in Philadelphia. And you, fan, what do you think of the situation, Kenny Pickett? Leave your opinion in the comments.